I shoot him, after I done called the cops and did everything I was supposed to do.
Just make sure you can articulate what's going on.
I can. I'm showing you.
You better really be able to articulate that.
I can. This is my household. He have no residency, nothing.
Make sure you read up on it and make sure you can articulate when it comes to
I've done that. I did that before I got my license.
Okay.
All right. I'm clear. All right.
Go ahead, man.
Everything first, bro.
Oh, yeah. Did she shoot you?
Yeah, before I die.
All right, lay down. Sit down here. Where's it at?
Here is a story of fear, anger, and wrong choices. On a cold November morning in 2022, Quanisha Johnson made a decision that would forever change her life and the lives of her children. Quanisha had called the police to her home in DeKalb County, Georgia, worried about her safety after receiving threatening messages from DeMonte Smith, the father of her youngest child. But the tension between the couple, mixed with fear and anger, spiraled out of control. What started as a plea for safety ended in unimaginable tragedy when she took a single gunshot, right before the officers. And before they could rush to the scene, a father was lying in a pool of his blood, and 3 young children were left baffled with questions. How could their innocent mother turn so rogue in a split second? Quanisha Johnson was a 30-year-old mother trying to balance the challenges of life, family, and survival. She lived in Lithonia, Georgia, a place where she had built a home and was raising her children. Life hadn't been easy for her, but she was determined to provide a stable environment for her family. Quanisha was known for her strong personality, but beneath that exterior was a woman battling fears that most people couldn't see.
Probably did panic alarm. No, that's not a thing.
Well, you disappearing all that lying ass thing shit and go get mad because I react.
He don't live here. He don't pay no bills. His name not on the lease. He don't have no mail. There's nothing here that's his besides a trash bag full of clothes that he got from DeKalb County Jail. He can take that and he can go. And he can put my daughter in the house if she get colic, because I'm going to have to deal with that.
Man, they're not touching my daughter, so shut your fucking mouth.
That's they don't touch my daughter. You can put my daughter in the house though.
Nah.
Your name not on the birth certificate, so therefore it's not your daughter. It's mine.
You ain't got no names on your birth certificate.
It is. I do. Let me go get it.
Watch out, bro.
Please.
I don't want my baby out here.
Her relationship with DeMonte Smith, the father of her youngest child, was a stormy one. DeMonte was a man with a history, a troubling past of legal troubles, violence, and broken relationships. He had been arrested multiple times, including charges for domestic violence and stalking. Despite this, he was the father of her child, and their connection, though fraught, remained.
We're gonna bring him back inside.
I'm gonna get the birth certificate. He's not on it. At this point, it's not his baby. And if y'all want to do a DNA test to identify that,
nah, this thing, no, we ain't going that far.
You get drunk.
But you allowed them.
You forgot where you went 3 hours?
I want you to look at my daughter's diaper. Under dad's bed.
Nah, nigga, I was changing her diaper.
Where your other kids?
I was changing her diaper.
Where your other kids?
With their mama.
With their mom? Hey, we don't talk to.
We're not here to listen to y'all go back and forth.
No problem.
I'm trying to tell you.
My kids here though. My kids here though. I see my kids every day. You don't see none of yours. You ain't gonna see her after this today.
For what? Cause you with that?
No.
You got mad cause you disappeared?
Nigga, I'm cool. That's why. Cause you broke. And that's what you got on trying to
Hey, stop. Cause at this point you're antagonizing him. You stop.
I'm not.
Quanisha's fear of DeMonte wasn't unfounded. Just 2 weeks before the fatal incident, he had reportedly grabbed her and slammed her to the ground during an argument. She didn't report the assault, a decision many women in similar situations make out of fear, hope, or denial. But that day in November, after receiving threatening text messages and calls from him, Quanisha decided she couldn't take any chances, and a cold-hearted decision was set in motion. On November 27th, 2022 in Lithonia, Georgia, what started as a tense morning would spiral into a tragic day. Quanisha Johnson was heading home with a heavy heart. She had been out the night before, her first time away from her 2-month-old baby, and the tension between her and DeMonte Smith, the father of her youngest child, had reached a boiling point.
Well, you disappearing all that lying ass thing shit and go get mad because I react.
He don't live here. He don't pay no bills. His name not on the lease. He don't have no mail. There's nothing here that's his besides a trash bag full of clothes that he got from DeKalb County Jail. He can take that and he can go. And he can put my daughter in the house if she get colic, because I'm going to have to deal with that.
Man, you're not touching my daughter, so shut your fucking mouth.
That's down. Touch my daughter. You can put my daughter in the house though.
Nah.
Your name not on the birth certificate, so therefore it's not your daughter. It's mine.
You ain't got no names on your birth certificate.
It is. I do. Let me go get it.
DeMonte was angry. He had stayed home with the kids, waiting for Quanisha to return. When she didn't, he sent her furious texts and called her multiple times, but her phone was off. Worried, he reached out to her family, even calling hospitals to check if she was safe. When Quanisha finally turned her phone on that morning, she was met with a storm of angry messages. One stood out particularly. DeMonte threatened to hit her when she got home. Feeling afraid, Quanisha did something she hadn't done before. She called the police. She asked for an escort to her house, explaining that she feared for her safety. At that moment, she was a woman caught between fear and the need to protect herself and her children.
He's in the window. He's just waiting on the step to do whatever the fuck he felt like he wanted to do. My daughters are in here though.
He's in there too?
Yeah. I'm gonna show you him. Look.
Hold on.
You heard him at the door?
Is he opening the door?
I can show you he's at the door. I got a gun right here. I'm licensed now.
Okay.
So,
Does he have any weapons?
no.
Just for our safety, just put the weapon inside the car for me. Thank you.
When Quanisha pulled up to her house with the police, the air was thick with tension. DeMonte came outside with his frustration visible. He confronted her, venting his anger about her absence the night before. The officers tried to calm both of them, but the tension was too high.
Well, you disappearing all that lying-ass, thigh-ass shit. You gonna get mad because I react.
Then came a strange moment. Quanisha asked the officers a question. What happens if I shoot him in self-defense?
So when I shoot him for self-defense, then what? Because I'm licensed. So if I shoot him in my residency, because he's sitting here putting his hands on me for the second time, then what? I'm held accountable? You hear this, right? You heard what he just said? I'm gonna get my ass beat tonight. So when I shoot him, after I done called the cops and did everything I was supposed to do.
She even mentioned that she had read up on Georgia's self-defense laws and gotten a license for her gun. To her, this was a kind of approval from the states to shoot anyone on sight. But the officers took these statements very lightly. Seeing no immediate danger in place, the officers told the couple to go inside the house and try to work things out. It seemed like a reasonable step at the time, but it was a decision that would have devastating consequences. The officers turned to leave, with hopes that the couple would take their advice for good and work things out smoothly. But they were in for a surprise. Inside the house, things quickly went from bad to worse. Quanisha was feeling the weight of DeMonte's anger and her own fear. She stepped outside again. Then she retrieved 2 items from her car, a tire iron and her gun. She gave her phone to one of her children and told them to call 911, claiming that DeMonte had hit her. What happened next was chaotic and tragic. Quanisha struck DeMonte in the head with the tire iron, and in the heat of the moment, she fired her gun, hitting him in the chest. Still outside and just about to leave, the police heard the gunshot ringing from within. Moments later, DeMonte stumbled out of the house, clutching his chest. His words to the officers were desperate. "She hit me in the head with a metal thing and then shot me. Hurry before I die." Despite the officers' attempts to help, DeMonte collapsed and was rushed to Emory Hillendale Hospital. Sadly, he didn't survive. Right at the moment, Quanisha was taken into custody.
You going with her. You're going with her.
We're gonna go up to the same building, okay?
Give mommy a kiss. Give mommy a kiss. You going with her.
Okay?
It's okay. Give mommy a kiss. She not. She gonna tell. She a big girl. She got this. Give mommy a kiss. No, you're not gonna cry.
I am gonna cry.
Okay. You're not gonna be without them.
She had hit DeMonte with a tire iron and then fired her gun. Actions she would later explain were driven by fear. However, as the police questioned her, cracks began to show in her story. She admitted that DeMonte hadn't hit her that day. contradicting what she had told her children to say during the 911 call. At the DeKalb County Police Headquarters, Quanisha remained calm during her interrogation. She insisted she acted out of fear, claiming DeMonte's history of violence made her feel unsafe. Yet her admission about the events of that morning raised serious doubts. If DeMonte hadn't attacked her, why had she acted so violently? These conflicting details created a picture that was both sad and very complicated. These and other details became a key part of the defense's argument during the trial. They painted DeMonte as a man with a dangerous past, someone who had pushed Quanisha into a corner where she felt she had no choice but to protect herself. But the prosecution had their own version of the story. They argued that Quanisha's actions were not out of fear, but out of anger. They pointed to her question to the police. What happens if I shoot him in self-defense? As evidence that she had considered her actions in advance.
Quanisha Johnson pleaded for protection, cried for help, and she was left defenseless by police officers who knew better. She was left defenseless against a serial abuser by police officers who knew better.
DeMonte's holding his infant child, and she fearlessly approaches DeMonte and tries to grab the kid. And then, not only that, the entire time, y'all get to hear she says things like, "That's not even your baby. That's not even your kid. You're not even on the birth certificate. I'm gonna disappear again for 3 hours. What are you gonna do then?"
They also emphasized that she had gone to her car to retrieve both the tire iron and her gun before the confrontation escalated.
And the headline at this hour is you spoke to Quanisha Johnson right after the sentencing. Julia, what did she have to say?
Spoke to her for the first time, Ted, because even though she was sentenced to 5 years confinement, she is out on bond pending her appeal. So we got to see her walking out of the courthouse with her children, with her family. They've been upbeat when they go into the courtroom every day, but today was a different kind of relief, a different kind of happiness from those family members. And here's what she had to say about those who've been watching this trial and how she feels about everything that happened.
Something I will have to live for the rest of my life.
Your family's been here
Very supportive, yes. A lot of them came from Philadelphia. It's sad. I mean, they say people show no remorse. I'm very remorseful. It's because I don't sit there and tear, cry, and I can't cry on cue. I'm mentally disturbed.
Her trial, which was held in DeKalb County Superior Court, was emotionally charged. One of the most heart-wrenching moments came when Quanisha's 8-year-old daughter testified. The child had been in the house during the shooting, along with her 2 younger siblings. Her initial statement to investigators described seeing her mother hit DeMonte with a pole before firing the gun. However, by the time of the trial, her story had changed. She now claimed it was DeMonte who hit her mother first.
Now, when your mom came into the house that day, she asked you to call 911?
Yes.
She gave you her phone?
Yes.
And did you know that there were police already outside that day?
No.
Okay. Did she tell you why she wanted you to call 911?
Because he was hitting her.
Okay. And was she scared that he was going to hit her?
I don't know.
Objection, personal knowledge. He asked if her mother.
Did she tell you why she wanted you to call 911?
Because he was hitting her.
This inconsistency led prosecutors to suggest that the child may have been coached. Regardless, it was clear that the event had left a mark on her young mind, a memory no child should ever have to carry.
Johnson also said she wishes that the police had done more that night, and that's something that Her Honor, Judge Morris, mentioned as well when she was sentencing, that these officers didn't protect her and they didn't protect DeMonte Smith that night.
The courtroom also heard from character witnesses and saw evidence of DeMonte's threatening messages to Quanisha. Both sides presented very different pictures of what had happened that morning. The prosecution described a calculated act of violence, while the defense portrayed a frightened woman who had been abandoned by the system meant to protect her.
Now, after the sentencing, for sure, I just figured we'd see her in handcuffs and being carted off to the Department of Corrections. Not the case. We also heard, though, before that, a lot of emotion from the victim family, impact at both sides, especially DeMonte's mother.
Right. We first heard from his sister, who said that her brother was her anchor. He was her rock in this really confusing world, that he was someone who really loved Quenisha Johnson, that he was head over heels, was always telling his family about her, how lucky he was to be with her. And then his mother spoke. She had a really poignant victim impact statement where she explained to the judge her son is not the monster that he was painted as by the defense.
This case left behind a lot of pain. DeMonte Smith's family was devastated by his death, mourning the loss of a son, brother, and father.
You took his life and said bye. You showed no remorse for him. None. Not for me, not for my daughter, not for his kids. I can't believe that I felt sorry for you for a moment. But I didn't know all the facts. I didn't know everything. I have no remorse for you. I have no empathy because you had no remorse for my son and you showed no empathy for him. You deserve every single year they can give to you.
Quenisha's children, especially her eldest daughter, were left to deal with the trauma of that morning. They had lost their father to violence and their mother to the legal system. After days of emotional testimonies and arguments, the jury delivered their verdict. Quenisha was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter, not murder. This decision acknowledged that while her actions were wrong, they weren't entirely without reason. Judge Shondina Morris, understanding the complexity of the case, handed down a balanced sentence. Quenisha was sentenced to 20 years, with 5 years in prison, 5 years under house arrest, and the remaining 10 years on probation.
Because at this point, it's getting
41 of East 20 westbound before the exit ramp.
Weird, that shit don't look good right
Blue
now.
on the pilot and the silver BMW.
Watch out, bro.
Hey, please.
I don't want my baby out here. The wind is blowing. She don't have a head on.
Just give her the baby.
Give me my baby.
What about your other baby?
Give me my
She been
baby.
going all night.
Or I'm worried
You don't care about your
too.
baby?
You ain't care about it either. That's why I got locked up when she was here.
Hey, we not finna fight over this
Give
baby.
me my baby though. Like she's gonna get college.
We're gonna bring him back this time.
I'm gonna get the birth certificate. He's not on it. At this point, it's not his baby. And if y'all want to do a DNA test to identify that.
No, we ain't going that far.
The toxic nature of their relationship becomes painfully clear. While Quenisha claims DeMonte is abusive and insists he has no right to live in her home, he counters that she's equally violent and maintains that he does indeed live there. Their exchange grows increasingly hostile as they deliberately provoke each other. He accuses her of being drunk and neglecting her children, while she taunts him about being broke and tells him that he's not even the baby's father because his name wasn't on the birth certificate. The officers find themselves in an impossible position. Faced with conflicting claims about domestic violence and residency, their decisions in the next few minutes about how to handle this situation will have deadly consequences.
Hey.
Man, that shit weird, bro.
I got
that dumb shit.
But look,
I mean, this motherfucker taking three of her kids, bro, plus my newborn. You get off at 6 a.m.
We're gonna talk.
Why the fuck you get home at 10:30, laughing and drunk? These bitch ass Atlanta niggas, dog. I ain't got time for this shit, bro. My mindset ain't built like that. I ain't touching.
Yeah.
I got my daughter, and they ain't did nothing wrong.
You do live here though, right?
Yeah, I got mail her and everything.
How long you been staying here?
It's the same amount of time as she has. We both moved here together.
When?
In December.
Y'all been here since last year, December?
Hey, she got mad because she out creeping at night and she couldn't keep up with her lives. And she was scared to come home. You smart, think. She ain't want to come home, so she used the police.
All right. Let's...
You a cop before anything. You ain't take on your kids one time.
Hey, let's just go inside the house with the baby.
You a cop before anything.
Here's the thing, we can't.
He don't live here. There's nothing in here.
I got mail in her.
You don't. Where?
Listen to what I'm
Weird.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen what I'm telling you.
Okay, he's not coming
because
here.
when I originally spoke
you ain't check on your kids all night.
He's been staying here since April.
Because he got in jail.
She a liar. She been lying all night.
Hey, let her talk.
You said he been staying here till August. So technically, when I told you to let him in, you gave him, you allowed him to stab residency.
You that drunk?
You allowed him.
You forgot what you went 3 hours?
I want you to look at my daughter's diaper. Unfed dead.
Nah, nigga, I was changing her diaper.
Where your other kids?
I was changing her diaper.
Where your other kids?
With their mama.
With their mom?
Hey,
we don't talk to. We'll talk to.
We not here to listen to y'all go back and forth.
No problem.
I'm trying to tell you.
My kids here though. My kids here though. I
changing.
see my kids every day.
It's
You
all
don't
right.
see none of yours.
That's
You ain't
cool.
gonna see her after this today. Like,
For what? Cause you whipped out?
no.
You got mad 'cause you disappeared?
Thinking I'm cool. That's why. Cause you broke. And that's what you got on trying to.
I didn't know. Hey, stop. Because at this point, you're antagonizing him. You stop.
I'm
Stop.
not. He has my dude out here. You don't let him have my dude out here.
You're not listening to nothing that's being said. You're not listening to nothing that's being said. You told me he's been staying here since August.
Check on your
He's
kids all
staying
night.
here since end of August, yes. He got out of the Camp County jail. He had nowhere else to
That
go.
means he's
So
been
I allowed
here.
him to come here because I went in.
Again, you ain't listening.
in September.
Hey, you can go now.
Like,
You gonna disappear for 3 hours and expect me not
I'm
to
gonna
get
disappear
mad?
again for 3 more hours tomorrow. What's the difference?
You can go ahead and go in the house and place the baby down.
Prosecutors called their first witness, DeMonte's ex-girlfriend. Her testimony revealed a crucial detail. She told jurors that DeMonte had asked her to order him an Uber from Quanisha's house. Phone records confirmed that the rideshare vehicle was already en route when the shooting occurred, suggesting DeMonte had planned to leave the situation entirely.
A great person. He always laughing, caring, very oriented, always laughing, joking. He was just a great person.
Following the ex-girlfriend's glowing character testimony, the defense revealed a very different side to DeMonte. The jury would hear about an extensive criminal record, including an arrest just 4 months before his death in July 2022. The charges included possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony and possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. More damaging still, at the time of that arrest, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office had active warrants out for charges of stalking and probation violation. This history of violence and criminal behavior, according to the defense, would support Quanisha's claims of feeling threatened that night. Next to take the stand was Quanisha's 7-year-old daughter. Her testimony would prove contentious. In her initial statement to forensic child interviewers immediately after the shooting, she had described seeing her mother hit DeMonte with a pole before firing the gun. But now, months later at trial, her story had changed dramatically.
She wanted you to call 911?
Cause he was hitting her.
Okay. And was she scared that he was going to hit her?
I don't know.
Objection, personal knowledge. He asked if her mother.
Did she tell you why she wanted you to call 911?
Cause he was hitting her.
Your mom went up the stairs?
Yes.
And you saw the man Dolo, you saw him hit your mom?
Yes.
Could you see from where you were downstairs, could you see everything that was happening upstairs?
Not everything.
Okay. Could you see your mom?
For a second.
Could you see Dolo?
Yes.
And you said that you heard a gunshot?
Yes.
Did you actually see a gun? Did you see your mom pull a gun and shoot?
I didn't see her pull a gun.
You just heard the gunshot?
Yes.
Do you remember telling an officer, a police officer, and your aunt on the phone, do you remember, did you tell them that, did you say your mom and Dola went upstairs and mommy hit him with a pole?
No, Dola hit him with her pole.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police and your aunt, did you say that? Did you say mommy hit him with a pole?
No, Dola hit her with a pole.
Okay. And did you ever tell the police, do you remember telling the police that mommy hit Dola?
Yes.
You told them that? Okay. Why did you tell them that?
Because I thought I needed to.
Okay. You thought you needed to? Why did you think that you needed to?
I don't know.
Okay.
The sentence reflected the gravity of her actions while also considering the circumstances that led to them. What would you have done in Quanisha's place? Would you have trusted the system or taken matters into your own hands? Please let us know in the comments. Kindly like and subscribe.
You can articulate
I can.
what's going on.
I can. I'm showing you.
You better really be able to articulate that.
I can. This is my household. He have no residency, nothing.
Make sure you read up on it and make sure you can articulate when it comes to
I've done it. I did that before I got my license.
Okay.